Hi all, my name is Rishikeshan and I'm currently doing my Master's Business Analytics at University Science Malaysia. So today I will be presenting about my research title, which is Navigating Barriers and Catalyzing Demand in the Electric Vehicle Adoption in Malaysia. So as the world is moving towards greener technology, Malaysia also want to promote electric vehicles or EVs. But many challenges are slowing down this shift. In this research, I try to understand what encourage or stop Malaysia from adopting EVs. Let's start with my first slide, which is abstract overview of the study. So this study uses a psychological theory called a theory of planned behavior, or we call in a short is TPV. It helps us understand how people make decisions. I collected data from 290 respondents using a Google survey. Then I analyzed the data using two tools. One is SPSS, which is for simple analysis, and one more is Smart PLS for deeper relationship testing. So I found that three things matter a lot when people think about getting an EV. First is their attitude towards EV cars, and then what others around them think, called like subjective norm. And the third one is whether they feel they have control over the decision. This will be called as a persuade behavior control. Let's go to the problem statement. So why this study is important? Even though more people care about environment nowadays, but EV adoption in Malaysia is still low. So there are many barriers to owning an EV in Malaysia. So let me give you a few examples. Malaysia has fewer than 1,500 public charging stations, while compared with Singapore, they have more than 3,600, which is double. But then the Malaysia and Singapore in the size is Singapore is much smaller in size. So next, the price of EVs is still high in Malaysia and many Malaysians is can't afford them. And the third is there are few affordable EV models. And the last one, people are also worried about the battery life and the safety and the charging time. So the overall thing is make them problems and discouraging people from making the switch to fuel car to the electric vehicles. Now the following slide is actually objective, what the research aims to find. So this research had 9 objectives, but I explained them in a simple way. So I wanted to explore how two things, which is drivers and barriers, affect how people think and behave. Drivers are things that encourage people to use EVs, like saving money or helping the environment. Barriers are things that stop them, like cost or lack of charging stations. So I look at how these factors is affect, which is people's attitude. Do they have a positive or negative view of EVs? And second is their confidence. Do they feel they can afford or manage an EV? And the third one is the social pressure. Do their family and friends support EVs use? So and finally I wanted to know if these three things influence their intention to actually buy or use an EV. Next, we continue with the methodology. So how the research was done. So this was a quantitative study, meaning I worked with numbers and statistics. So I used a Google form survey and 290 people is responded. The survey was shared through social media, emails, and some messaging app as well. I used non-probability purposive sampling, which means I target people who were most likely to give useful responses to me. So I analyzes the data using three things, which is SPSS for basic things like gender, age, and general trends. The second one is a smart PLS, which is powerful tool to test relationship between variables. And the third one is TPB, which is the theory of plan, which help guide the questions and analysis too. So the sixth slide is about the discussion, which is EV factors people like. So let's talk about the good things people said about EVs. Out of the 290 respondents, 48% said they liked EVs because of their positive environment impact, no fuel and no emissions. And then 16.6% said the technology was attractive. Features like smart dashboard, instant talk and silent engines. And then another 16.6% like the economic benefit. EVs have lower fuel and maintenance costs as well. Some also like the image that comes with owning a green car. It makes them feel modern and responsible. So overall, these are the strong signs that there is interest in EVs, especially among the younger generation. So we already talked about the like, and now the discussion about the dislike as well, which is EV factors people dislike. So but of course, these are the concern. How are the top issues people mentioned, which is like limited charging station? Around 39.7% out of 100 say this was the main problem. Without enough chargers, people are afraid they'll get stuck. And then higher purchase cost, which is like 35.2% said EVs are still too expensive compared to the normal cars. Others, the balance, are like worried about the battery safety and the driving range and the limited model option. So overall, these concerns make people hesitant. Even if they like EVs, they won't take the risk unless these problems are solved. So we already came for the final slide for the discussion, which is like model result. So about the smart PLS analysis and of course the TPB as well. So I used the smart PLS to test the relationship between attitude, social pressure, control and intention. So these results are very strong. All three, attitude, subjective norm and persuade behavioral control, had a positive effect on intention. So the R squared value was 0.745. This means the model explained about 75% of people intention to adopt EVs. Also, the model's reliability was strong. ABVE values were about 0.7 and the CR values were above 0.9. So this means that the data is consistent and accurate as well, and the TBB model is a good fit for studying this topic in Malaysia. Finally, we come to the conclusion and the recommendation slide. This will be my last slide as well. So let me talk about the conclusion first. So to wrap up the study, Malaysians are interested in EVs but are held back by practical problems. And the second one is people's decision is influenced by their attitude, social influence, and persuade control. And the third one, we need to address the external issues to help them act on their attention. And now we talk about the recommendation. So I have three recommendation, which is like for the government, give incentive like tax reduction and rebates. Also build more charging station, especially in residential and out of city as well. For car companies, make cheaper EV models and provide clear information about the battery performance and the lifespan as well. And the third one, for the society, spread awareness. There's a lot of misinformation about EVs. Like they can do some campaigns, can help people understand the benefit and reality of EV ownerships. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this presentation gave you a better understanding of what the EV adoption in Malaysia